Hey guys, good morning, good morning. I am actually doing this video in the morning, so I'm saying good morning. You might not be watching it in the morning, but that's why I'm doing it. Anyway, my name is Sandy. I'm a licensed realtor here in the Central Florida area. I've done quite a few videos, and here is another one of them. Remember to like and share our channel so we could reach more and more people with all the valuable information that we're sharing. Today I want to do a video for you on when to lower your home listing price to cause it to sell. So we know we're in a market where homes are not selling as fast. We are possibly having a pending recession. We might be going into a recession. We don't know. There's a lot of different things in the political atmosphere. People are scared. Some people don't want to buy anything. They want to save all their money. Some people are on the buyers. Some buyers are on the sidelines waiting to see what happens to the market. So if you're in the market and you're selling your home and it's been on the market for a while and it's not selling, and your realtor at this point is probably telling you, hey, we need to reduce the price. We want to do a video. We want to take a deep dive into what's going on. So the first thing in today's market that we're in, today is May 19th, I believe it is. Let me check my computer. Yep, May 19, 2025. That's the time of the video. Right now, the market is very uncertain. Interest rates are kind of higher than we are used to in 2020, 2021, COVID, pre-COVID, that kind of stuff. I mean, COVID, post-COVID. Also, some are pre-COVID, right? Post-COVID, within a year or two after COVID, 2020, 2021, that kind of stuff, we started to notice a shift between 2022 and 2023, and then it really took a dive in the lower part of 2024, and now we're in 2025. So we're seeing all kind of stuff going on in the market. And now, if you're on the market to sell your home, we have buyers on the sidelines, as I just mentioned. People don't really want to buy. If you're in an area that you're also competing with new construction, that's another thing by itself. So how do we set ourselves up for success? Number one. So if you're thinking of selling and didn't put your house on the market yet, how do we cause it to sell really fast at a price that you want? And number two, if your house is already on the market and it's not selling, how do we get it to sell? So first, let's examine if you're about to put it on the market. And even if you have it on the market, you could probably still do some of these things. So the first thing you got to do is make sure you are working with a good professional realtor that knows the market you're in. So we want to look at what's going on in the market first, before the very first thought, oh, you know, I think I'm going to sell my home. We're going to have to research the area. We need to know what comparable sales look like in your area. So if you're selling a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-car garage on a quarter acre as an example, we need to know within a 2-mile radius of your home what's selling that's comparable to yours. So if you're in a community, let's say you're in an HOA development or any kind of development, we need to know what are the other homes selling for that's comparable to my home. And we don't want to go out of 2 miles if we're in a suburban area. If we're in a rural area, we could go out up to 5 miles. And if we're in an extremely rural area, we may be able to go out up to 10 miles. Why am I telling you this? Because that's what the appraiser are going to use when they go out to appraise their property. That's how they're going to do it. So we need to figure that out. Another thing we need to figure out is, of the comparable sales that we're looking at, which one of them compares best as far as interior features, as far as carpet, laminate floors, granite, quartz. Is there a pool? No pool. Is there a spa? No spa. What are the age of the roof? What are the age of the appliances, right? So we have to take a deep dive into the comparables to see how they actually compare to your home. And then you have to also look at your home objectively. Does it have a newer roof? Does it have newer appliances? What does it have? Does it have a pool? Is the kitchen updated? Are the bathrooms updated? Because those are the things that tend to sell homes. If they're not updated and you're looking to sell, are you willing to improve these things? Or even if your home is already in the market, and you know the kitchen isn't that updated, the bathroom isn't that updated, I'm working on a tight budget, can I do something to spruce this up? Maybe paint the cabinets in the kitchen, I don't know. But these are things you gotta think about, right? And those are the first things. Next thing is, okay, they're comparable, and I realize that the price range in my neighborhood is between $350 and $400. The leverage in between that is improvements, that kind of stuff. Now, the one thing I will tell you is no matter what, if your home is priced correctly, but you have an older roof in our area, that's Central Florida, that's going to cause a problem because most people don't want to take a roof on, especially if it's over 10 years. Between 5 to 10 years, you're still having some issues. 1 to 5 years, not a problem. So if the roof is 1 to 5 years old, you're good. 5 to 10, you're in a kind of a gray area, but some people still do it. A roof that's over 10 years old, especially if it's not a tile roof, will run into issues. I'm just letting you know because this is an insurance issue. So one of the things that you may want to do is let your agent know or the buyers know what your insurance company is, so they could call your insurance company and see if they will continue to insure the roof, the property at that rate that you're paying, right? Because if the roof is older than 10 years old and it's not a tile roof, we're going to run into issues of insurance for sure, especially if you're not able to replace the roof before you sell. So that's something to think about. Another thing to think about is we need to do a pre-inspection, and I would recommend you do this before you put the property on the market. If the property is already on the market and hasn't gone through any kind of offer where there was already an inspection done, I'd recommend you do one. Why? Because you want to figure out any problems that you don't know. Even if you lived in the home for 10, 15 years, even if you always maintain the home, even if you know everything about the home, you still need to do an inspection because the licensed inspector will come in objectively and they're going to find everything that you think you didn't have. So you need to do that. And if when you do the inspection, you want to go through the inspection list and fix everything that you can fix. So that way when the buyer comes in, number one, you already have an inspection report, you kind of expect what's going to happen. And number two, you could tell the buyer, hey, I already have an inspection report. This is the inspection report. And here are the things that we actually corrected since the report. Or the inspection report was done. This is what's going on. We're not going to fix it, but we're giving you a credit of X, right? That's what you're going to do. Another thing is we're back now to our market analysis. We have to go by the pricing, guys. So if the market ranges between 350 and 400, we got to figure out where do you lie. Now, most sellers is going to want to be at 400, obviously, but you really have to be objective in comparing your upgrades, your home features to the ones that have sold. Let's pretend that we put on the market for 400,000 because we're like, you know what, it's between 350 and 400. We have, our home is completely updated, newer roof, all this stuff. We're going to do $400,000 as the list price. Let's pretend you put this on the market at 400,000, and in the first 2 weeks, it's going to determine what the market thinks. Not what the realtor think, not what you think, but what the market thinks. Because the market is going to let you know where you're priced. So if you put on the market at 400,000, you have very great pictures. You did your pre-inspection before, all that you have ready for the buyer if they want to take a look at it. It's completely staged out. You did everything in your power, right? And we didn't talk about staging, but you want to make sure you stage the home before you put on the market. Take down all of your personal items, all the family pictures, all the vacation pictures, the pet pictures, all that stuff you want to get away from. And you want to stage it as much as possible. They did a study on staging, and the rooms that are the most important when you stage it is the living room, the master bedroom or the primary bedroom, and the kitchen. And the next thing was the bathroom. So they had the living room was number 1, master bedroom was number 2, or family bedroom was number 2, and the kitchen was number 3. And then the other bedrooms, like the dining room, was right behind that. And then like the other bedrooms went lower and lower. So you want to stage out when the buyer walks in the house, that room, whether it be a family room or a living room, that room needs to be staged because that's the first impression. So I'm a buyer, I walk in, boom, the first room I enter is staged. The master or the primary bedroom, I need to stop saying master. The primary bedroom needs to be staged because more than likely whoever is buying the home want to see what they would look like living in your bedroom. So that got to be staged. So the other rooms, you don't really have to stage them. The dining room, yes, you may want to create a setting there and stage that. Patio furniture and patio staging was way down on the list, but if you have a beautiful patio, especially with a pool, you want to stage that too. Let's say we did everything, we put the property on the market for $400,000. Within the first 2 weeks, we're going to pay attention to, is there any calls on the property? Are there any inquiries on the property? Are there any showings on the property? That's what's going to determine if we're priced correctly. If we have nothing at all the first 2 weeks, we know we have to do a price reduction. If we have some showings and a lot of the feedback or most of the feedback was about pricing, we have to pay attention to that. If we had quite a few showings and we really didn't get any kind of feedback, we want to go find out from those buyers, what is your feedback? What didn't you like or not like? Maybe they didn't like the way the home flowed. Maybe they didn't like the backyard. Maybe they didn't like the fact that the kitchen wasn't updated, even though you're giving the credit for this. So that's where we're going to find out where we lie with price. Based upon the feedback, we're going to then determine at the first 10 days, what are we going to do? Are we going to do if it's pricing, if the feedback is based on pricing, we know we have to do a price reduction. If there is no showing in the first 10 days and we did everything we're supposed to do, we know it's about price. If we have 1 to 2 showings, maybe we did an open house, not too many people show up, we're going to want to adjust price. Why? Because we did beautiful pictures, we did our pre-inspection, we already did our staging, and it's not selling, then it's price. And if we had a lot of showings but we didn't really get that many offers or no offers at all, then we got a price. Then it's price. How are we going to reduce the price? Well, we're going to first start off maybe at a 4% increment, perhaps, based upon what the reaction is. I'm pretty sure your realtor would have said to you, hey, we need to price it here, but we could start off a little bit higher to see what happens. That's some realtor's perspective. Other realtor perspective is, hey, let's price a little bit below the market so we could get multiple offers. A lot of homeowners get scared when they hear this, so they don't like to do it. But in my experience, when you price a little bit below the market, you tend to attract more people and you tend to get more offers coming in. So based upon what you do in the first 10 days, we'll determine if we need to reduce price. Then we're going to get into now the first 21 days. So the first 10 days passed, now we're getting into the other 10 days. If after 21 days, there's absolutely no offers, there's no showings, or there's a very few offers and few showings, at that point, we know we're going to have to reduce between 4 to 9%. I know you're like, are you crazy? No, I'm not. In this particular market, if we're not pricing aggressively, we're going to sit, because remember, people are getting high interest rate, so they have to qualify to buy the home. Another thing you could do, as opposed to a price reduction, which your realtor may advise you to do, is to offer closing cost assistance or bind down the rate for the buyer. So maybe instead of reducing by $10,000 as an example, you might say we are offering $10,000 towards the buyer's closing costs, or we're giving the buyer a $10,000 credit. They could do whatever they want to do with that credit, right? But at the same time, even though you're offering that, you have to price right. So if you're priced $15,000 above the market and you're offering the buyer $10,000, that may or may not work. If you're priced at market value and you're offering the buyer $10,000 in closing cost assistance or for a credit, that might fly better. If you're priced a little bit below the market, let's say you're $10,000 below the average fair market value in your area, you're $10,000 under that, and you're offering the buyer a $10,000 credit, and I know it sounds scary, but what you're going to be doing is setting up yourself for success, right? Because the buyer's already knowing, the buyer's agents are telling their buyers, oh my gosh, this home is priced a little bit below market value, plus they're giving you $10,000 towards closing costs, we should go look at this home. What that's going to do, that's going to help your house to sell, because we're going to have multiple offers because you have such an attractive package. So in this market, we have to have an attractive package. We have to price at fair market value or a little bit below it. We have to do a pre-inspection to make sure we're taking care of everything. We have to stage the home. This is particularly true if you are in an area competing with new construction. And lastly, if you are competing with new construction, you want to offer a 2-year home warranty to the buyer. Why? Because the builder naturally give them one. If they're going to buy new construction, they're going to have 1 year of workmanship warranty from the builder. So why not give them a 2-year home warranty? Beat the builder at their game. Hey, we're going to give you a 2-year home warranty. That means if anything breaks during the first 2 years of living in this home, any appliances, air conditioning system, plumbing, electrical, any of that stuff breaks, the insurance company will come out and they'll either fix it or replace it. There'll be a small deductible, some between $50 to $100, I believe, for most companies. $100 seems to be the most one for the better warranty, and you offer that to the buyer. So here's how we're presenting this home on the market. We're priced a little bit below market value. We're giving a $5,000 or $10,000 credit to the buyer for closing costs, to help with their closing costs or whatever they want to do with it. And on top of that, we're also offering a 2-year home warranty. If you're able to do this, there's no way your home is not going to sell. Seriously. But if you're doing this, I would suggest you do it up front, like the day it goes on the market. If it's already on the market and you're like, you know what, Sandy, it's been on the market for so long, it's not selling, then here's what you're going to do. You're going to price right, a little bit below fair market value. Everything else goes into play, the staging, all that great stuff, pre-inspection, all that stuff. You're going to offer a 2-year home warranty. You're going to offer $5,000 to $10,000 to the buyer for credit. This is a buyer's credit. The buyer can do whatever they want with it. Once you set yourself up that way, and you are indeed paying the buyer's agent, and that's a whole thing, there's a lawsuit, all this stuff. But if you're not going to pay the buyer's agent, they probably, less people are going to show your home. So you got to explain to your listing agent, hey, I am going to give you X amount of commission, and from that, if the buyer's agent is asking if I'm participating in paying their commission, I am, and you're going to offer them why, right? So your listing agent or your realtor already knows this. So you're offering the buyer's agent commission through your listing agent. You are pricing a little bit below market value. You are offering 2 years home warranty, and you're giving the buyer a credit. Now that's a setup for success. There's no way if you do all this, your home is not going to sell. Now maybe you don't want to do all of it. Maybe you're like, you know what, Sandy, that's all fine and good, but I can't afford to do all of this. What's the most important one to do? The most important one to do is going to be make sure you're paying the buyer's agent, make sure you're priced right. Those two things go hand in hand. If you're priced right and you're not offering any kind of compensation to the buyer's agent, then guess what? They're not going to want to show your home. That's reality. I know a lot of buyer's agents are going to say, no, I would never do that. I would always show my buyers everything they want to see. They may show it to the buyer, but guess what they're telling the buyer? They're not going to be selling your home. They're going to show it to them, and then they might be showing them 4 other homes, and they're going to be promoting the ones who are actually paying them. That's fact, guys. It's reality. It's not fairy tale. So that's what you're going to do. Okay? I hope this helps. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to send us a text. My number should be somewhere above here or below. Send us a text, give us a call, send us an email, let me know. But if you are looking to sell your home and it's not selling, if it's on the market right now, you're going to need to reduce the price to market value or a little bit below market value. If it's already priced that way, then what else can we do? We could offer to give the buyer a credit towards their closing costs or whatever it is they need to do. If you were not offering buyer's compensation, buyer's agent compensation, maybe that's something for you to look into. If you weren't offering a home warranty, maybe you could offer a 2-year home warranty, especially if you're competing with new construction in your area. But guys, these things combined will help you. If you have an older roof, call your insurance company that is insuring the home right this minute and ask them if they were to sell the home, if the other buyer would be able to take it over at that rate. Have the buyer call your insurance company, because everybody's insured differently based upon how many other claims you had with other companies, all that great stuff. But find out if they'll take it over, because a lot of new insurance companies may not want to insure it because of the age of the roof. If you're able to repair the roof before you put it on the market. I know this was a lengthy video, but there's so much things to touch on, and I didn't even get to all of them. So if you have any questions, want to know more, give me a call, send me a text, number up here, and I will see you on the next video.